When a client comes into your office and sits down across the table from you and tells you about what their problems are and you tell them about what your solutions are, how many of those potential clients turn into actual paying customers? I'm guessing it's probably quite a lot, maybe in the range of 80%. And I'm also guessing that if they call you on the phone, you've got a reasonably similar closing rate, even if you never bring them into your office. Maybe that's 50 to 60%. So how come you don't get that kind of client coming in from your online presence? Well, that comes down to three simple things that if you implement will get you more qualified clients before they even come in through your door. So what are those three things? For a potential client to want to work with you, first of all, they need to know you. If they don't know of you and they don't know you, they're never going to buy from you, right? Obvious. Second of all, and almost equally as obvious, they need to like you. People buy from people that want to like you and understand you before they buy from you. They need to feel like their decision is a good one and it's the right one for them. And the final piece, and potentially the most important piece, and where a lot of businesses fall down, is trust. They need to know you, they need to like you, and they need to trust you. Think about when they come into your office and how that conversation goes. Maybe they meet with somebody at the front desk first. Maybe they're offered a coffee or a tea. They sit down, read a magazine before they come into your office, and you start with a little small talk. All of that leads towards them knowing and liking you. And from that comes trust as well. Then as you talk to them about the service that you offer and the expertise you have, you're building upon those foundations of know, like, and trust. So when you think about what happens when you're having the conversation with them, you're also getting to know them. And that reciprocity helps with them liking you more and trusting you more. If you know a little bit more about them and can speak to them human to human rather than business to potential client, then you're going to have a better rapport and the know and like starts to build. The trust is your expertise. The more you can speak about things that you know and things that you've done in the past and outcomes you have created for clients who feel like them, the more the trust starts to build. So you know you can do this when you have them in front of you. You do it every day. Your business wouldn't be successful if you couldn't do it. So how come when you get new leads that come in through your website or your social media or whatever outreach you're doing, they're a little bit more difficult to close? They're a little bit more difficult to get on the phone. They're a little bit more difficult to get in front of you. Well, it all comes down to the simple fact that they don't yet know you. They may not get to know you enough to like you, and they don't trust you at all because everybody's selling to them. How do you stand out from everybody else who's telling them that they are the right solution to solve their problem? That answer should be pretty straightforward. The same things you do in person, you want to be able to do in your online presence. You want to be able to provide people ways to engage with you without ever having met you, so that when they do come through that door, they do make that phone call, they already feel like they know you. They already like you, otherwise they'd never come in through the front door. And they've got a sense of why they should trust you. They have a much broader understanding of what your business does, why you're different to the competition, and how you can help them from a personal perspective, from a tailored perspective. And that means if they do come to your office, then your conversation can be shorter, more personalized, and less about business, more about who's the client, what do they want, how do you service them appropriately, and getting that signature on the dotted line. It's all about making a reasonable facsimile of what you do in person relatable online. The audience is the same. It's the same people you'll be meeting in your office, but you're able to talk to them asynchronously. You're in front of them more often. They're getting to know, like, and trust you without actually meeting you. But what does that look like in reality? For them to know you, what do you need? You need to be present. You need to be present often, and it needs to feel personal. What's the easiest way to accomplish that? Video. Video, think about it, is you talking to them. They can see your face, they can hear your voice, they can see your body language, and they get to know you more. They get to feel your presence in their life, on their social feeds, in advertising, on their YouTube, on whatever channel you deploy this strategy. Regularity is key. You need to show up all the time. If you're not in front of them all the time, then they forget about you. And then when it comes to liking you, This is about the content that you're putting out. So it's not just about frequency and showing up all the time. You also have to put out content that is personalized, that is human, and that is real. If you can nail those three things so that you're talking to your audience directly in words that they understand, talking about concepts that make sense to them, that are relatable and that relate back to you as a human in your own life, showing your human side, showing vulnerability. And a lot of people are scared to show that vulnerability, but other people have that vulnerability. They have that anxiety about whatever problem it is that you are solving for them. It's a problem that's in their mind. It's gnawing away at them in their self-conscious mind. And you're there to show up and say, hey, I hear you. You have this problem. Lots of people have this problem. I've solved this problem for lots of people and I can solve it for you. So by rooting a portion of your content in reality and being real, being native to the platform that you're on, showing them that you're a real person who knows what their problems are and can solve for them and has done it before, so you have confidence, then people begin to like you. You start to show your personality, maybe have a little bit of humor, show them your day-to-day life. That's how people relate. This is what you would do if you were meeting people for coffee in person. So this is what you have to think about doing online as well. And then the third pillar is trust. In a lot of ways, trust is the most difficult thing to achieve because you've got to get over that barrier of distrust. And a lot of people, when they see service-based businesses marketing to them, there's an innate distrust. I don't know this person yet. I don't know if what they're telling me is true. I haven't worked with them before. I haven't heard from anybody else who has worked with them. You get over that by showing. Instead of just telling, you show. You have to show them that you know what you're talking about. So regular updates about whatever industry you're in and showing that you have your fingers on the pulse and you can speak with knowledge about the topic allows people to say, okay, this person knows about this and therefore I can trust their opinion more than the advice I'm getting from my cousin. Second is expertise. So how have you utilized your knowledge in the past to gain results? You can tell stories about clients that you've helped. You can tell stories about ways that you have turned a situation around for a customer. What's the before and after state of that customer before they met you and after they met you? If you can tell a story, people will feel more engaged. And if they feel more engaged, they're going to trust you more. And finally, it is proof. If you have past clients who have been successful because of the work you've done for them or with them, let's get reviews from them. They don't have to be on camera. A lot of people don't want to be on camera, but at least if you can receive written testimonials from past customers, you can put them out there, you can point to them, you can have them on a piece of paper and take a photo of them. It doesn't really matter in terms of the medium. The message is the important piece here. It's all part of a system. If you can get them to know you, like you, and trust you, and if you have a system in place to then capture their intent so that they will reach out to you and sign up as a client, or at least book some kind of consultation or come into your office and meet with you, then you've got a repeatable process. That repeatable process might not be perfect to begin with, but you can work on it. You can start to optimize for it. And you've got individual points in the journey that you can look at and say, how well am I doing at each of these things? If I'm not doing all 9 of these things, which are the pieces that I'm missing? And what does that mean for my overall business? Where am I falling down? So instead of it being this big problem of getting new customers reliably, you can start to say, hey, I'm doing really good over here, but I'm not doing a really good job of showing up often. So what does that mean? You just show up a little bit more often. You make the commitment to yourself to create content on a slightly more regular basis, one day at a time, until you are showing up habitually more often. And when you can look yourself in the eye and say, yes, I'm doing all of these things the way I'm supposed to be doing them, and I can be better at all of them, but at least I know where I can focus to be better each day, then you're in a really good place and ahead of most other businesses. Now that you know the 3 core things that have to be in place to have a reliable flow of qualified new customers or clients, it's time to implement. But don't worry, we've got you covered on that. If you need help to understand exactly how to tactically implement this strategy, we've got a video up here. Click and watch, and we'll help you get that flow of new customers coming in through the door. And we'll see you in the next video.